Once upon a time, there was a deep, green forest. This forest served as a sanctuary for various creatures. However, the inhabitants of the forest had been discussing the troubles they were facing recently. The trees in the forest were rapidly being cut down, and the natural balance of the forest was being disrupted. Many were deeply concerned about the impending destruction of their beloved home. In the heart of this forest lived a bear named Bob. He was known for his courage and wisdom among the animals of the forest. As the situation worsened, Bob made a determined decision to become the guardian of the forest. He joined forces with other animals to implore the loggers to cease their destructive activities and protect the forest. At the outset, the loggers did not take Bob and the other animals seriously. However, Bob remained resolute in his mission. He continued to peacefully engage with the loggers, explaining the importance of the forest and the delicate balance of the ecosystem it held. Over time, the loggers began to comprehend the gravity of the situation and the significance of conserving the forest. With persistence and unwavering commitment, Bob and the other animals successfully convinced the loggers to help in the preservation of the forest. Bob, as the guardian of the forest, continued to provide guidance on its maintenance and protection. As a result, the forest began to flourish once again. Bob and the other animals had taught the invaluable lesson of coexistence and celebrated the forest's salvation. Inhabiting the same forest as described in the first story, there lived a bear named Bob. Bob was no ordinary bear. He was known far and wide for his courage, determination, and wisdom. He was respected by all the creatures in the forest, and when a grave crisis began to unfold, he stepped forward as a beacon of hope. The forest had long been a source of sustenance for the nearby human settlements. Loggers had been felling trees for their livelihoods, leading to a growing concern among the forest's inhabitants. Bob, recognizing the urgency of the situation, decided to take matters into his own paws and become the forest's guardian. With a heavy heart, Bob gathered the forest's animals and shared his vision of protecting their home. They formed an alliance and decided to approach the loggers peacefully. Bob, with his eloquence and determination, became the voice of reason among the animals. At first, the loggers dismissed their pleas, thinking that a mere bear could not change their livelihoods. However, Bob's unwavering resolve and his ability to articulate the importance of the forest slowly started to break through their indifference. As the dialogue between the forest creatures and the loggers continued, the loggers began to realize the grave consequences of their actions. Over time, Bob and the animals successfully conveyed the message that the forest was not just their home but also vital for the ecosystem and the well-being of everyone involved. The loggers, moved by the sincerity and determination of the forest's inhabitants, eventually agreed to stop the excessive tree cutting and cooperate in the conservation efforts. Bob's wisdom and leadership turned the tide, and with the loggers' cooperation, they started planting new trees and caring for the existing ones. The forest began to recover, and its rich ecosystem was slowly restored to its former glory. Bob, the brave lumberjack bear, remained the guardian of the forest. He continued to guide the ongoing efforts to ensure that the forest remained a thriving haven for all its inhabitants. Together, they celebrated their success in protecting their beloved home, demonstrating that understanding, cooperation, and determination could lead to positive change. In the wake of the courageous efforts of Bob, the lumberjack bear, and the cooperation of the loggers, the forest slowly began its journey towards redemption. This story highlights the transformation and rejuvenation of the once threatened woodland. With Bob still serving as the guardian of the forest, he and the other animals continued to work hand in paw with the loggers. They collectively embraced their roles as stewards of the environment and protectors of their shared home. The loggers, who had initially been driven by economic interests, began to appreciate the forest's ecological importance. They realized that the survival of the forest was intricately tied to their own well-being. In a remarkable shift of perspective, they became active participants in the reforestation efforts. Together with Bob and the forest creatures, they planted new trees and diligently nurtured the existing ones. This endeavor not only repaired the environmental damage but also provided new, sustainable sources of livelihood for the loggers. As the seasons passed, the forest began to recover its vitality. The once barren patches of land were now lush with new growth, and the native wildlife, from the tiniest insects to the grandest predators, flourished once more. The ecosystem's delicate balance was gradually restored, and the forest's natural beauty was rejuvenated. Bob, the steadfast guardian, and the other animals had not only saved their home but had also demonstrated to the world the power of unity and cooperation between humans and nature. The story of the forest's redemption became a symbol of hope and a reminder of the invaluable importance of environmental conservation. With time, the forest's redemption story spread far and wide, inspiring other communities to come together for the greater good of their natural surroundings. The forest stood as a living testament to the positive change that could be achieved when different species worked together to protect the environment. As Bob and the forest's inhabitants continued their watchful care, the forest thrived and became a symbol of what could be achieved through unity and shared responsibility. It stood not only as a symbol of hope but also as a living example of the profound impact that positive actions could have on the natural world.